Let's fucking go here, okay? You see what this is? You see what this is right here? This is what we're looking at, boys. Although I'm not going to say that it's not on the table because it is. 162-0 is still on the table.
It's still on the table.
Because our boys brought out the brooms, baby. Woo-hoo! Let's go.
What an entry, baby.
Oh, my goodness.
Sweeper, baby.
Oh, it feels good. This is my season. This is where I shine. This is where I want to be. This is where I feel good. Okay? As always, I'm your host, James Hyden. As you can tell, I'm a little amped up today. But I'm joined by my guys, Mr. 5 digits, Max Coolidge, Mr. 3 digits, because that's how many wins the Phillies have. Max Coolidge, how are you?
I'm wearing a hat. That's all you need to know. Let's go, Phils, baby.
I love it. Doc Lock predicted all 3 Philly wins. How are you?
Oh man, Banners, you let us off great. I'm amped up too, and I'm gonna say it. I'm ready to watch Matt Moore out-duel Jacob deGrom tonight as well. Lock that one in.
Book
Jacob
it.
deGrom on a pitch count, liking our chances.
I love it.
Book that.
Also, the hero that we didn't think we needed or we didn't want, but we need. Vince Velasquez started his NL Cy Young run yesterday, and it was beautiful. So let's just absolutely get into it.
Whatever, man. YG, young gentleman, how are you?
I love every second of it. I mean, I'm just gonna ride the train here. If we're all excited about the Phils, we're all excited about the Phils. So
let's go.
I'm absolutely pumped. My board last week said baseball is back, and we are back, baby.
Let's go. My goodness. We got the fans up to over 10K. I'm not saying I fully agree with it, but let's go.
Hey, man, we're back.
We're back.
We're back.
First place Phils. We're going to get right into it. And the main event's going to be all about baseball, or a lot about baseball. That's the way I like it. Okay? First question. I already brought the brooms out because the Phils already brought the brooms out. Ooh, we swept the Braves. Oh, these vaunted Atlanta Braves. These guys from Atlanta, SunTrust Park. Oh, we move ballparks every 3 years because we're Atlanta. No, I won't have it. I'll stand for none of it. Boys, what are the biggest takeaways from the sweep of the Atlanta Braves? Max, I'm coming to you, man. Hype me up.
I mean, it honestly feels surreal. Like, would anyone, like, if we were here a week ago, if any one of the 4 of us said the Phillies will sweep the Braves this weekend, what would you have gotten called?
This guy.
Yeah, and what did we call you?
Crazy.
I would have said it.
We called you crazy. I still can't believe it.
I would have called you shaky for that take.
That's cool. I'm here. I have a broom.
I got to say, maybe my perception isn't the best again. I actually was only really tuned in audio for the games that I got. So I wasn't able to catch all the eye test stuff. I got to say, it is just great listening to baseball, just truly the radio sport. I'll say this. Anytime you can go, 3-game sweep to start a season, they've had as much time to prepare as anybody in the world. This is not a short rest. This is not, you're catching the bottom of the rotation. This is not, you're catching them with injuries piling up. This is games 1, 2, and 3, full strength. Your best 3 pitchers versus our best 3 pitchers, and the Phillies got off to a commanding start to their season. And quite honestly, I'm equal parts impressed and surprised. And I don't think that I don't think even if I wanted to, I could sit here and try to convince you guys that I saw this coming, because I didn't.
Not 3 straight.
And especially in the manner that it happened. The bullpen, small sample size. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself.
Yes.
I haven't seen 3 good games in a row from that bullpen in over a calendar year. So you know what? I'm going to take that as my biggest win of this weekend.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, JJ, I'm here. Bring me here. Keep me going.
Yeah. Max, that's perfect. Perfectly leads into what I was about to say. I want to piggyback off that last point, because there are a lot of things too. A lot of things that struck out to me. Struck out to me.
Struck out's fine.
yeah. But keep the puns there. But that stuck out to me in this 3-game sweep. The clutch hitting. You get a walk off by Gene Segura. You get a clutch hit by Alec Boehm. I guess in the bottom of the 7th, bottom of the 8th. Yesterday, the go ahead single. You have the starting pitching doing what it's supposed to do, setting the tempo, and then most importantly, you have the bullpen, cleaning up what needs to be cleaned up and not blowing leads. And let me throw you something out here to you guys, gentlemen. This is what stuck out to me the most. This is why I was so happy about this 3-game start. Is the 2 of these first 3 games, the Phillies had the lead when the starting pitcher left, and they won both of those games.
Yeah.
They only did that once last year. Once all of last season, they only did that one time, and they did it twice in the first 3 games of the season, which means the bullpen didn't come out and blow the lead like they did literally every single time but one last season.
Oh my God.
So that they're already turning over new leaves, already getting off to the right start, because I had a thought that a lot of other Phillies fans had the thought of. Remember last year when we came out and swept the Braves in opening weekend, and it was all fun, and we thought we were going to have this good season, and by the All-Star break, it was in the hole? Yeah. Already doing stuff that we didn't do all of last season in the first 3 games to get off to a torrid start. Can't be happier about it. Really can't be happier about it.
I'll let you be happier about it. But Josh Safran, Doc Locke, what are you locked up about?
Man, I am I'm fired up about so many things. That bullpen is what sticks out to me. Like Freddie Freeman, the greatest Philly killer of the last 5 or so years. Goose egg. No hits for that guy against the pitching staff of the Philadelphia Phillies. But, all right, I'm going to say something that might sound crazy, but I'll explain it a little bit. Listen, after the first series, it may be a little knee-jerky. I would not want to face the Phillies in the playoffs, gentlemen.
Nope.
And it's because of exactly what we saw this weekend. 1, 2, and 3. Now, last year, going into the playoffs, I really wanted them to win. Obviously, we all wanted them to make the playoffs in the 60-game season. But it was mostly because of Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler's year 1 and 2. With those guys as your 1 and 2, it doesn't matter how good the team is that you're facing. That pitching is like that 1 and 2 can go against anyone in the entire league. Now you've got a guy like Led Zeppelin in there. Zach Eflin setting the world on fire. A lot of people are calling for a breakout year for Zach Eflin. And if you're going to have a breakout, well, I don't know a better way to start it off than that game yesterday. I just, because, listen, we'll see tonight with Matt Moore. We'll see tomorrow with Chase Anderson. I'm not feeling good about Chase, but I think it feels good to have a 1, 2, maybe 3, 4, and 5. Now I feel like I know for sure we got the 1, 2, 3, and you guys said it. I just want to back it up. That bullpen. Because going into spring training, watching spring training, hearing people talk about the bullpen, that's all good and great. But to see 3 regular season games, like JJ just said, he pulled that stat out of how last year they only did it once, held on to a lead with the pen. They did it twice in the first 3 games. It's so refreshing. And the highlight of that all to me, Connor Brogdon getting 3 outs and 2 batters and starting it off with Freddie Freeman in opening day in the 10th inning. I feel on top, and there's no one that can bring me down.
Boys, if I was to tell you that a pitching staff 1, 2, 3 went 21 innings, only allowed 11 hits, only 3 runs, 1 walk, and 24 Ks against the Braves. If I was to tell
you're not talking about the Phillies bullpen, no way.
No, that's the starting staff right there. That's Nola, Wheeler, and Eflin. If I was to tell you that that's the part that I'm not the most excited about, what would you call me? Am I crazy?
I mean, no, I won't, because there's a lot to be excited about after this week.
I don't know.
The part that I'm most excited about.
Banners.
The part that I'm most excited about is the bats aren't even close to awake. All right, the alarm is still an hour and a half in the distance.
Snoozed off.
These boys aren't even close to coming awake. Bryce Harper only had 3 hits over the weekend, no RBIs. I think one run. He scored the winning run on that Bohm single in center field.
That was awesome listening to that inning on radio.
Didi Gregorius doesn't have an RBI or a run. Reese Hoskins may have a run. The boys aren't even awake. The first homer of the season went to Andrew Knapp. Okay,
Nap time.
We have this starting staff, and the bats aren't even awake. And you just swept the Atlanta Braves with Acuna.
Hey, Professor Banner, question.
They have 1 extra base hit in the series, and Freddie Freeman goes hitless, the greatest Philly killer since Chipper Jones. And why is it always the Atlanta Braves corner infielders? Never mind. I don't want to talk about that.
Banner, is Zach Eflin the only Philly with more than 1 hit this year? Or am I crazy?
Yes.
What about Zach Wheeler?
Just making sure I'm not wrong.
Zach Wheeler.
It's Zach Wheeler that has right. It's Zach Wheeler.
How
Sorry,
about that?
Zach,
Arm & Hammer's arms that hammer. Like, my man is up there hacking, and he's taking him down, okay? Oh, man. This is good stuff. I'm excited. The bats aren't even awake yet. We just swept the Braves.
I can't wait for the first
Look! The first Marlins
shot
series.
in a night game.
I'm excited. I'm on top of the world. I need to see a Marlins series. I need to see a handling of a Marlins series.
That's my goal.
Then I will be proclaiming World Series. Like once
My
that
goodness.
happens, then I know we've crossed every hurdle that we need to cross.
So
Matt Moore off to a nice start. Strike out on Lindor to start the game. I just wanted to
Let's
say
go,
that.
let's
my
go,
God.
boys.
You
Matt
better
Moore.
get used to it for the next 10 years.
Let's go.
He's already got the mental
I'm
edge.
following
Love it.
this up. Second question, and I know who my answer is. He did a little bit of it this weekend, but I'm taking you guys back to your backyard. All right, I'm taking everybody here that's watching, you guys here answering. Everybody's going back to their backyard, and you're out back by yourself, wiffle ball bat, wiffle ball in hand, and you're saying to yourself, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, Game 7 of the World Series. James Hyden steps to the plate. He hears the crowd roar. He looks out. He points to where the ball's going. He sits back. He waits for it. Oh, he hangs it a curve, and bang! All right, boys. Bottom of the ninth. 2 outs. Game on the line. Who do you want up? James Jackson, and why?
The youngest player on the team. I want Alec Bohm at the plate.
Ding,
I
ding,
want
ding.
Alec Bohm at the. He showed it. He showed it in spring trading. He showed it yesterday. He's not just a guy who's going to go up there and give you a hack for extra bases or a hack for a home run, even in a big situation. Stayed back on a breaking ball, sent it right back where it came from, and gave us a go-ahead single in a clutch moment. And to be that young and to be that good of a hitter, being able to use all of the ballpark in which he does, being able to hit an array of pitches and an array of spots. Like, I mean, you talked about how, Banners, you talked about how Alec Bohm is going to be one of the best players, one of the best Phillies players in the next coming season. And I already think he's one of the most all-around hitters on the team, if not one of the best just pure hitters. Not home run hitters, not RBI hitters, but just one of the best hitters on the team, one of the best plate presences on the team goes to Alec Bohm. That's who I want, bottom of the ninth. If I had to right now, if I had to pick one Philly, it's going to the young buck. It's going to the young bull.
That was my answer as well. Last year, he hit 451 in runners in scoring position. The kid's ahead of his years.
You put a duck on the pond, he gonna bring him home. Put a duck on the pond.
Wasn't his first hit like a late inning home run to break a tie?
It was a double down the line for an RBI.
Double down the line, right. I remember watching
that. And then I think the second at bat, he takes a 100-mile-per-hour fastball in off the hands the opposite way for another double.
But Banners, that's exactly what I'm talking about. To be that young of a hitter, being able to go inside out on something that's on your hands and set it back to right, like that's something you only get 6-7 years into the MLB when you've seen pitches like that.
That's something you get every 10, 15 years.
He's okay with using the full ballpark, and he's never going to get a shift put on him. He's never going to get this defensive shift at all. He's a good hitter. Like, he hits all around the ballpark. I love it.
Like you said, he took that ball for the win and run. He took that right back where it came from. That's just a sign of a kid who's way beyond his years, staying through the ball, staying up the middle. But by the way, boys, Matt Moore just got through a very clean top half with the first. All right, But Josh Safran, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, game winning, game on the line. Who are you putting up to the plate?
Oh, I can't believe it. You guys know I like having a little banter back and forth. I like being a little disagreement, but oh my goodness. I want Alec Bohm at the plate with the game on the line. That guy is, in a word, a professional hitter. I mean, from his day one here, he looks so good in a Phillies uniform. And it's not the first game he played. I can't remember the exact game, but it was a bottom of the ninth situation. And did he get the hit? No. He got the sac fly. It was the same thing. It was a high inside fastball.
The first game of the season, he did that this year. Got a nice sac fly driving a run.
Do a job. That's all you need. Just do a job.
But it's just last year specifically, going back to last year, a year that just felt like a giant missed opportunity. It felt in any opportunity that the Phillies had to get the big hit or for the big moment, they missed it. They squandered it. And Alec Bohm just takes a high inside fastball, doesn't try to crush it, elevates it to center field. The Phillies get the game-winning run, and they walk it off. Like, that guy is simply a professional hitter. Now, I am liking the defense I'm seeing from him. I'm a bit nervous it won't be able to stay, but I don't care. I don't care about his defense because that guy rakes, and he's going to rake. You can buy JT Realmuto, you can buy Bryce Harper, but there's something to be said when you draft a guy and he's just this homegrown talent and you see him develop right in front of you. I want Alec Bohm. You just threw the word Chipper Jones out there for the Braves. I want Alec Bohm to be a Chipper Jones type player here in Philly and call this place his home and be
nice.
the face of the hot corner.
Spicy take.
That'd be real nice. I can get down with that.
Well, you can't get Chipper without the defense.
I am.
Like you say you don't care about his defense. You don't get Chipper without the defense too. But he's snagging balls at the hot corner as well.
Well, we'll slide him over to Phirst in a few years. We'll see how things go.
Say more things like this.
That was
My
spicy as hell.
goodness.
That was
My
so
gosh,
spicy.
Max.
I need a glass of milk.
Max, are you on the line with us? Are you going with the young buck here? Or is there somebody else in this lineup that you would put up there, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, game on the line?
I mean, all I'm going to say is this. I would say that if it's 2 outs, game on the line, and it's tie game, and there's nobody on base, I want Bryce Harper at the plate because nobody's.
That's not. You're not wrong for that. You're not wrong.
Yeah, nobody's. Alec Bohm is great if there's a guy on second, but a double down the line doesn't get anybody home if there's nobody on base. So
right.
I'm going to take the guy who's always capable of putting 450 plus feet into any direction into this, into the outfield stand. So also just in a much less objective analysis. I really just want to relive that Bryce Harper monster walk-off home run from last year as many times as possible because that was the most alive the Phillies have made me feel since they've been in the playoffs. So I just want to get back to that situation as often.
No, and it was important too. Season hanging in the balance at that point.
Yeah.
They had just come off a rough stretch. Bryce Harper has had a rough stretch of batting. He needed that. The team needed that. The city needed that. Like it was.
That would have been this was the moment it all shifted if they made the playoffs.
So you're not wrong to say that, Max, because last year Bryce Harper was, by the metrics, the third most clutch player in all of baseball. And you have 2 of those guys on your team. Like this is what I'm saying. Like the most exciting thing is the bats aren't here. Like they're not here yet. They're still on their way back up the East Coast from Clearwater. They're coming.
He was such a clutch player last year with not enough clutch moments.
Yeah,
the Phillies didn't put themselves in enough clutch moments for him to shine through as one of the clutch, but still by the metrics. That's why the metrics say that, but not like the eye test. Because the Phillies, it's hard to be clutch when you're going in the 9th inning down 3 or 4 runs every time. Not many clutch moments happen.
Exactly.
Y'all mind if I call 30 real quick?
Go ahead, take it 30.
All right. This is a message to Roman Quinn real quick. I know you're in the clubhouse watching our show, but somebody please tell Roman Quinn he is not on this team to hit home runs. Roman Quinn has to be the 2nd fastest player in all of baseball. If that guy could just slap at it like Ichiro and run to first, he could have a good career. That guy comes out of his shoes on every swing, and it drives me crazy. Just slap the ball to the ground and run to first base. That's my 30.
That's a great 30.
Remember Juan Pierre? Remember Juan Pierre?
Yes.
I need a second. I need another Juan Pierre.
Ben Revere.
Be Juan Pierre. We are good if you are Juan Pierre. I saw a Juan Pierre highlight the other day, and I was like, that's what Roman Quinn. You need to someone just give him hours of Juan Pierre tape. You need to slap a ball, a high chopper to short, and beat it out every single time. That's how you're going to get on base every single time.
And Max, I was at that game, the Cubs walk off with a friend of the show, Andrew Salchunas, and my mom and my girlfriend. And we're sitting at Pass and Stowe because we're down a couple runs. The fantastic new beer garden at Citizens Bank Park. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. They brought in the old bell from Veterans Stadium right outside Pass and Stowe. It's fantastic. If you haven't, go check it out. Sponsored by Goose Island. Go get some nice IPAs. But I was at that game, and you know what? It was 2 outs, and I saw Bryce was coming up, and I said to everybody at the table, I'm like, you know what? No, we gotta. If he wins it, I want to see this. So we walk right over to the entrance to the stands, right on the first level, right behind home plate, right on the third base side. And to just see and hear that ball.
It probably sounded like an absolute gunshot off the bat.
It was a miss. It was a piss missile off the bat. And I swear to God, I have about 15 to 20 best friends. I don't know their names. Just all throughout the Philadelphia area.
That's funny. That's
that
great.
If I saw them again, right here. Like
That's the moment, right? You should share the moment. You really shared a priceless moment.
Like do we just become best friends? You goddamn right we did. But I'm all jazzed up. We're going to transition across the parking lot to our boys that play a little basketball. All right. Not a great, little shaky loss. Little shaky loss to the Memphis Grizzlies. They looked a little bit like JJ's board right there. But I'm not too worried. I'm going to ask you guys a little bit about our big man that came back. And there's been some debate about his mindset, whether or not he trusts the knee. He's got the knee brace on. He doesn't like it, but wear the knee brace, please.
Wear it, big fella.
For all of our
wear the knee brace, please.
Yeah.
Wear the knee brace. Josh, I'm going to come to you with this one first. Is Embiid still the front runner for MVP?
Absolutely.
Ooh,
absolutely, he's the front runner to win MVP. And if you told me 3 weeks ago that this would be a discussion, I'd call you crazier than saying the Phillies would sweep the Braves, all right? But let's face facts here. His only competition is Nikola Jokic. It truly is only Nikola Jokic.
Hey,
and I
Dame's
think there's an unwritten rule. What's you putting who? Who?
Dame's in there.
Dame is in there. I'll get to that. Why we don't have to worry about that. But
Okay.
All right.
I'll let JJ take care of the Dame argument, and I don't know, man. That's a late entry to the race. You know, I think he's going to have to really do something special towards the end because his team, and that's my same reason for Nikola Jokic. It's because, yeah, Jamal Murray's great and all, but I can make an argument that Nikola Jokic does Jamal Murray's job better than Jamal Murray does. But as of today, Joel Embiid is the front runner to win MVP. Here's my thing, though. The Nuggets, if they go off, if they finish the season at third or second, maybe third might not cut it, second in the West, and people are talking about the Nuggets in the championship conversation, you can give it to Jokic. Or you can at least consider Jokic. The fact that the Sixers are still fighting for the one seed, and look, I get, like, you could say that takes away from his case. The fact that the Sixers are where they are in the East against the super team, and they're pretty much doing it on the back of JoJo. You take away LeBron, the Nuggets are not a real contender. I kind of feel like he has to win it at this point, I don't understand where you give it. I
don't be counting chickens before they hatch now, man. You got
I don't know if the Nuggets aren't a real contender. That's all I'm saying.
Giannis is putting himself back in the race as Milwaukee is. Look, but I agree with you. I agree with you that Embiid should still be front runner.
Okay.
Yeah,
I definitely
speak on it.
I definitely agree with you that Embiid should still be front runner. He hasn't won it yet. Like if Embiid takes a nosedive after coming back from this injury and he still hasn't started on the high side, he lost it. But it's still his to lose because in those 2 to 3 weeks he was out. Tell me what player moved the needle. What happened? He went out, then LeBron went out, then Steph went out, then Dame even missed time. Dame missed 2 to 3 game, 2-3 game stretch in there. Yep. That hurts his MVP odds. And Dame was my pick to insert himself as the front runner with all these injuries with Steph, LeBron, and beat out. Dame was the one who was going to take that over. And since he was a late entry, like you said, Josh, he needed a big splash in those 2 to 3 weeks to take it over. He didn't give us one, and then he missed a couple games. So that he didn't really leapfrog into that first place role like I thought he could. Luka had the Mavs on a little bit of a good slide, but he didn't move his needle much. Jokic didn't move his needle much. Even Giannis didn't move his needle crazily too much. No one put themselves in front of Embiid. Embiid came back in the same spot he left the race. It's like in NASCAR when you go for a pit stop. Embiid just needed to fix the tires. But he enters the race.
Great analogy.
He enters the race in the same spot when he comes back because no one else took that lead from him. As a great analogy. No one entered in front of him in the race. He goes right back as the MVP front runner. He still has to perform. Just because you're the front runner doesn't mean you won, but he goes back as the front runner for sure.
JJ, just to continue the analogy a little bit, my take, I love the analogy. He only needs to put it in cruise control to finish this in first.
See, you're a little too comfortable. You're a little too comfortable with that. You don't enter back in. You don't enter back in the Daytona 500 and lap 240 and put it in cruise control. Nah, man, you still got to race as hard as you can.
I just don't want to see him. I don't want to see him blow a tire going for a personal accolade.
I hear you.
All right, Max. What are we thinking about this MVP race? Do we have the front runner or no?
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like I can't say that we do. I really can't. I feel like that. I feel like, I mean, Denver has really been just absolutely killing it.
They're playing nice. Yeah, they're playing nice.
They really are. As far as I'm concerned, I feel like Jokic has to be the front runner at this point. I think Denver. I kind of cut you off, Josh, says, but I think Denver is legit as it gets out west. I think Denver made big strides to get better at the trade deadline, and I think that the Lakers kind of handled them pretty well, but the Nuggets are on a different level compared to last year. But I think that the Lakers are probably their only, like, not at least even matchup. Like, they showed that they can beat the Clippers. I think they match up great against the Jazz because, Jokic is the best way to get Rudy Gobert out of the paint or make them pay big time in not doing so. The Suns are – I think the Suns would probably be a pretty even matchup. I think both teams have some strengths that the other ones don't have. But I think that would probably be pretty even most of the way. But I think the Lakers and their combination of, the LeBron and Davis two-man game is pretty lopsided in their favor compared to any team. Yeah. But I think that the Nuggets are definitely at the top of the West in terms of the best teams. And, with these injuries, the Nuggets very well could end up in the 1 seed. It might be a little bit of a stretch at this point. But as of the other day, the Clippers, Lakers, and Nuggets all have the same number of losses with different number of wins, but with I think different amount of game well. So
right,
I think the Nuggets can. I think if the Nuggets finish in top 2 seed, I think they would be inclined to give it to Jokic. Also, I still feel like James Harden is going to come out of nowhere at the very end of the season. People are going to be like, "Wow, the Nets didn't have Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant for at least for them in 85.72% of their games, and James Harden still averaged 37 and 7.
Double. No, a triple double right now. Yeah.
No,
is it really up to a triple double average?
I believe it's 9 assists. Yep. I believe it's like 9 point something assists.
It's just under.
He's basically at a triple double.
See, that's what I mean. Denver, somehow James Harden and the Nets have. It's insane to think that he isn't.
No. So in a vacuum, Max, if a player averages a triple double and their team finishes first in their conference, in what way do you not give him the MVP? Just put names, strip everything, strip context. In a vacuum, it's only been done 2 times in history. Like in a vacuum, like you gotta give that player the MVP. I think you're right. I think precedent I think we're gonna be in the playoff time. When the votes start getting like actually cashed by execs and writers, we're going to be in playoff time. People are going to be like, yo, James Harden really averaged a triple double. The Nets are in first place. Like, I don't know why. I'm sorry we didn't talk about this earlier, but I got to give him the MVP.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like I can't back that statement that Embiid is still in the front runner. Do I think he can overtake this lead and become, the odds-on favorite to win again? For sure. But I don't think right now I feel comfortable in saying that it's his award to hold the lead on.
I think that Denver point's very well received because, Michael Porter Jr. is playing out of his mind. And then that Aaron Gordon trade looks very good. It is what it is. So if Denver really does make that climb, I think James Harden has missed a couple too many games. Jokic just is a force that doesn't miss time. And then the Nuggets are playing out of their mind. It just kind of is what it is. So I think you're right, though. I think James Harden is going to finish the season as the number 2 vote getter in the MVP race. I think it's just the national media, 1, loves to hate on Philadelphia players, and 2, loves to drum up this whole injury bug for Joel Embiid and use it in any way possible. Unfortunately,
it's not pretty, banners. It don't look good to a third party audience who's not Philly fans. It don't look good.
And I think I made this point earlier, a couple episodes ago, that the Sixers only lost, I think, 3 or 4 games with Embiid out.
They went 9-3 on their 12 games without him, I think. Yeah,
that's like to an outside audience, you can't really pitch him as the most valuable player when they went on a run, no matter what the competition was like with him out, unfortunately. So.
You look at those box scores and you see this T. Harris guy, and you're like, what is this Joel Embiid guy even
doing? Right. Exactly. Yeah. T. Bradley's gone now, but I digress.
What's going on?
Oh boy, we'll see how the MVP race shakes up. No doubt, Max's point still rings true in terms of he might be able to overcome this slump that the hole he put himself in with injury. But we'll see. You know what I mean? Now we're going to transition to the third major complex in the stadium complex, the Link. Boom. Oh boy, guys, the NFL. I'm telling you, the NFL has made great strides to catch up to the NBA. In terms of how exciting their off season is.
For real.
And it just got a whole lot more exciting today with the news that Sam Darnold was traded to the Carolina Panthers. Guys, for a 6th round pick and 2 future draft picks.
That like a bag of Doritos and some soft serve ice cream.
Like half a deck of playing cards. Like we couldn't even play spades. Like,
whole thing.
This is my face about Sam Darnold now being in my division.
This pretty much confirms that Zach Wilson's going to, and the Niners are going to choose between Trey Lance and Mac Jones, and then Justin Fields is out there for the taking. You know what I mean? So I'm going to tie this to the birds. I swear, I promise. But the NFL has really impressed this offseason in terms of how much they can shake things up, how much the owners and management are willing to shake things up. Speaking of management trying to shake things up.
Hello.
We have talked at length about a certain man in a certain front office who tried to do a certain thing to move up to a certain spot in the draft to take a certain quarterback.
Hilarious.
After taking another certain quarterback to usurp another certain quarterback that is no longer here.
Hilarious.
Why is second said certain quarterback, Jalen Hurts, why has he not been named QB1? Josh, I'm coming to you right here, bro, because this is where you shine right now.
Your guy.
Why is your boy not our QB1 here?
Look, Howie Roseman clearly is not sold for whatever reason. And
wait, my 30. But he was given a mandate by the owner to go build around Jalen Hurts.
Don't matter.
But no, you know what? You're right. I'm wrong. The guy, he'll learn from his mistakes. That move down in the draft is from 6 to 12. He learns from his. You know what? You're right. I'm wrong. Nothing's wrong with Howie. I get it. I'm wrong. Cool. Continue.
Man, I don't know what's going on. I'm not trying to.
Hey. I've been sitting here waiting. Like, Josh, you really have an answer? Like, I don't.
I don't know what's going on. I'm not justifying Howard Roseman or anything like that. No, and I think it's hilarious, by the way, how none of us even bother talking about Nick Sirianni when it comes to this decision, like as if he has any say.
He doesn't. Yeah.
You think Nick Sirianni has any say in anything?
Nick Sirianni adopted the most toxic. Nick Sirianni adopted the most toxic situation, and he don't even know it.
No,
like I think came into the most toxic environment.
I mean, the good thing is he has a meeting on the books with Howie for like 3 months from now. We'll see if we get there. You know what I mean?
Probably.
It's on the schedule.
They'll talk about the grand scheme of things at some point, right? Probably week 12 of next season.
Who knows?
But back to this just Jalen Hurts thing. Like, look, I don't know. I have no clue. I mean, you're not getting another quarterback. I think that's fairly obvious. Whether they're trying to play this mind game with Jalen Hurts, like, oh, we're not going to name you starting quarterback. You better work hard. Like, Jalen Hurts took the wide receivers to Houston. He's been like working with these wide receivers. This guy he's done everything you asked of him. He's done things that Carson couldn't do for your team, and you gave Carson everything on a silver platter, and there was never enough for him. So I am a little bit. I'm a little bit upset because I cannot be brought down by my Philadelphia Phillies, but I am a little bit upset about the situation because you're right. Jalen Hurts, I've considered him to be my guy now, and I just think he's done absolutely everything, both on the field, that one Saints game, and off the field this offseason to be a leader. He's answered the questions right. He's been a good guy. He's been working out with his teammates, and nothing. You're still trying to move up. You're trying to get another quarterback. Just name the guy the quarterback, and we can all take a deep breath, and maybe, just maybe, we'll enjoy a season of some good football, some bad football, and an 8-8 team. I'm going to keep saying 8-8 until I get used to a 17-game schedule.
Max, I'm giving you 1 digit since Jalen Hurts has changed his number from 2 to 1. You have 1 digit to tell me why Jalen Hurts is not QB1.
I don't know where you guys are getting this notion that he's not QB1 from. Eagles insider legend Ian Rappaport tweeted QB1 number change for the Philadelphia Eagles, and we took his word as the gospel when apparently they look to move up to 3. So we're going to go down that road that the Eagles try to move up to 3, then Jalen Hurts is officially QB1. I'm sorry, you got to pick your own adventure here.
No,
You got us.
When Rappaport, when don't spin it digits. When Rappaport said that Jalen Hurts was QB1, he was saying that like that was his opinion after the fact. The Eagles didn't do it. Jalen Hurts is QB1. Like that, you're coming up, my man. Rap now.
I've been sitting on that since the second I saw that tweet on Twitter. I said, "Wait, that's an Ian Rappaport tweet." I knew I'd have that as my say.
Star heads. You couldn't wait. You couldn't wait.
I really did too.
Diabolical.
Right in the bank. JJ, talk to us, man. QB1 issues.
Start believing Howie when he says, "I want to be a quarterback factory." Like just because y'all don't like it doesn't mean he didn't mean it when he said it. He was dead serious when he said that. And every move after that has proven that this crazy month is serious. Like he really wants to be a quarterback factory out here. Like he really wants to have quarterback after quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. Like he wants to have one ready in the box, pristine, ready to go when the toy he's playing with right now breaks. Like
and Carson Wentz took that personally.
Yeah, he's tired of a toy breaking, him not having a good one to take off the shelf and put in the game. So he's gonna make sure he's got one ready to go. He said it straight up. I want to be a quarterback factory. Here's what I'll say to Jalen Hurts. Maybe this is a little spicy take. Maybe this is a little out there.
Ooh, I like this.
But the saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. The one who talks gets tended to. So Jalen Hurts, you can be the quiet, humble guy, do all the right work, take the receivers to Houston. At some point, you got to go Zach Ertz on folk. Go screaming at someone's door and say, I want to be QB1. I deserve to be QB1. Give me a chance. You're watching all these moves get made above your head for other people. You bring in Nick Sirianni and a whole staff for Carson. Didn't work out. You try to trade with the 49ers or with the Dolphins, for number 3 to go get another quarterback. Didn't work out. But meanwhile, you're just a nice, humble guy who puts on his hard hat, grabs his pail and shovel, and goes to work. But at some point, you got to knock down someone's door and be like, yo, you have a QB1 here. Watch me work. Invoke some confidence into other people because they're not getting it naturally with your vibe. Like some people like the honest, hard worker who doesn't say much, they'll gravitate toward that. The Eagles aren't that. They're not that anymore, at least not right now. So at some point, you got to open your mouth and make some people uncomfortable with the fact that they're doing all this stuff around your head when I'm a second-round draft pick. I'm a national champion. I'm a Heisman Trophy finalist. Like, give me the football. Stop looking otherwhere. Like, I'm here.
Listen, man, I just gotta say, you said it. He's a national champion. He's a Heisman. He's gonna go on the field and he's gonna talk loud and clear on the gridiron. And that's all I gotta say about Hurts.
All right. Well, I guess whenever Nick Sirianni manages to get in the same room with Howie Roseman,
there's no way they haven't met yet. They really haven't met yet.
Do you have proof? I'm not saying.
Let me go talk to my man Ian Rappaport
and Howie Roseman are the same
Eagles,
guy.
Ian and Josina. Let me go talk to Ian and Josina. They know all things Eagles. I'll get back to y'all.
All I'm saying is I've never seen Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni in the same room. So are they the same guy? I don't know. You tell me. You know what I mean?
Persuading them to.
I don't know. Ooh, that was a spicy first half. I like it.
Very
a little
spicy.
bit of Phils, a little bit of Sixers, and a little bit of Eagles. There's 4 teams here. What? We didn't talk about one. We have 30 digits because we don't need a full minute, but we have 30 digits to give to our man Max if he wants to take them.
What's going on with the Fly Guys, man?
It's pretty simple. As I detailed last week, the Flyers have been in crash and burn mode. It really all comes down. The Flyers are 4 points behind the Bruins for the 4th spot in their division with the way the conferences and divisions are set up this year. It's 4 divisions. Top 4 in each of those divisions gets to the 16-team playoff bracket. The Flyers are 4 points behind the Bruins right now as it stands, and the Bruins are 3 of their next 4 games. And if you paid any attention to the Flyers this season, the Bruins have I don't really know the nicest way to say this. They've just destroyed the Flyers pretty much every time they've played.
No nice way.
So I don't really have high hopes for this. I'm going to be honest. But if you want a light, that's your light. The light might be out by the end of this weekend, but that's your light.
Yeah. You think we see Cam York by the end of the season?
Do I think we see Ken? Sorry, you cut out a little bit.
At the end of the season? Or by the end of the season?
Probably, yeah.
Real question for the Flyers experts here. Would you call Cam York the Flyers version of Alec Boehm?
Here you go, try to get some more spiciness for your plate.
I think that's maybe a bit of a reach.
Okay,
I like where you're coming from.
Wasn't Carter Hart supposed to be the Alec Boehm of the Flyers? Am I wrong for that? Wasn't that supposed to happen?
I don't know. I kind of like the Cam York Boehm comparison more just because of the obviously it's a goalie and a hitter. You're trying to compare differences, and even though Cam York's a defenseman, he's very mobile. And I mean, if you watch the Flyers, they don't know how to enter the offensive zone at all. Like I'm so sick and tired of watching dump and chase hockey. And one of the only 2 guys that could skate the puck into the zone was Shane Gostisbehere. One of the only things he could do right. And I mean, somehow even being an awful skater as Ghost was, he's one of the only guys that could do it. So I mean, if Cam York's that guy, Cam York's that guy. So Max, I think you're right though. I think the light's about to go out. So we'll see how the boys wearing orange and black do. See how the boys wearing the sweaters do. But hopefully next season, and hopefully AV hasn't already worn these guys out. We're going to get into rapid fire, and rapid fire is always fun because we're rapid and we fire off hot takes. Okay.
Boom, boom.
The first one here, we're going to talk about the national championship game.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Woo! It is on tonight at an ungodly hour.
But
That's
if you haven't seen it, go ahead and type
I'm not
in.
going to complain.
If you haven't seen it, and I don't know how you haven't, go ahead and type in Jalen Suggs on anything. Just Jalen Suggs, just his name. Go ahead and type that in on Twitter. Go ahead and type that in on Google. And just be amazed.
Make sure you type in Jalen Suggs basketball because now all his football clips have gone.
Yeah, he was all-state football player in high school too.
If you got a couple minutes to spare, just type in his name and just have fun.
Yeah.
But we got the Gonzaga Zags because I'm not really sure.
The Bulldogs.
It's Zags.
They're Bulldogs.
Bulldogs. My bad.
There you go.
Versus the Baylor Bears from Waco, Texas. Who we got? JJ. Who we got, man?
Look, I picked Gonzaga in my 2 best brackets to win the national championships. Why the hell would I go away from now? I'm a good 40 minutes of basketball away from coming up on some nice chunk of change. So go for it, Gonzaga.
Young gentleman.
I mean the first team since Bobby Knight's 1979 Indiana Hoosiers to contend for an undefeated season. So it would be absolutely awesome if they could pull it out. They're just the most dominant team in college basketball. They've been that way all season. And I mean, against UCLA, obviously was their toughest contest in the Final Four. But until then, no one even got really that close. And when you have a team who can dominate on the interior with Drew Timme, on the perimeter with Jalen Suggs, and then Corey Kispert everywhere in between, you're just so hard to defend as a college basketball team. So I'm going with Gonzaga. Baylor's, obviously has been the second most dominant team in college basketball all season. So inevitable that these two meet in the national championship, but got to go Zags with this one.
Yeah, they're, like you said, about to try and become the first team since Bobby Knight's Indiana Hoosiers with a lot less chair throwing. So there's only upside here. Josh, Doc Lock us up a pick here because I want to make some money.
Yeah, man. Look, I made some money with the UCLA points last game. Shout out Jaime Jaquez Jr. I've never gotten more texts than when UCLA's play this tournament and people go, number 4 in UCLA looks just like you.
You
And
do
I'm like,
look
"What?"
just like you. Whoa.
He do. Like, he really does.
And like
yo.
face
You
to
do
face,
look
we
just
don't
alike.
look exactly like each other. But when you watch him play on the court, he's my identical twin. Nobody has this hair and like weird facial hair.
Yeah, you do have. Yeah.
It's a unique style, and Jaime Jaquez Jr. and I have it down to a T. I hope to meet him one day because I feel like this weird connection to the guy. So I was a little hurt when Jalen Suggs made that shot. Maybe that's where the pick comes from. I'm going with Baylor tonight, boys, and I'm just very adverse to the undefeated season happening tonight. I do not want to hear about the Mickey Mouse run to the championship that the Gonzaga Bulldogs had for the next 30 years until another team can go undefeated. But aside from what I want to happen, I think Baylor's the prototype NCAA championship team with excellent guard play, smothering defense and forcing turnovers. And, Banners, you're not going to like this one. I have a theory that I call the Minneapolis Miracle Theory. And it's that when a team wins on something just insane, like an absolute miracle, they can't recreate the intensity for the next game. Minneapolis Miracle is the perfect example of it. We don't have to bring up.
I like that. I like that.
100%
theory.
agree.
It's a real theory.
I
I
like
made
that
some
theory.
money going with it before. There's no doubt Gonzaga is the best team in this country in the tournament. I just think the style of play that Baylor plays combined with the Minneapolis Miracle Theory, I'm riding with the Bears tonight.
I'll tell you what, though, if Jared Butler doesn't have the best game he's had literally since the tournament started, they don't win. They don't win. Like Jared Butler has to have like a first team All-American game. He hasn't had one of those games yet. He doesn't have that. They don't win.
There's just no matchup for Drew Timme. It's going to have to be a shootout if Baylor wants to win.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's funny you brought that up, that lookalike. Well, I mean, one, you're 100% right, and coaches actually are very scared of emotional wins, you know what I mean, just because of getting the team back up for the next game. It's a very real thing, evidenced by an infamous game here in the city. But it's funny you brought up the lookalike thing because I actually had a friend who looked exactly like Juan Fernandez when Juan Fernandez was lighting it up at Temple University, which is probably the second most publicity Juan Fernandez has ever gotten.
Yep.
I just think that's really funny because now that I think about it, you are like you and
Spitting image, man.
It's
Jaime Jaquez.
Yeah, I need a side by side. I need a side by side for the Instagram because that's like way too.
That's beautiful. First team all name. Jaime Jaquez Jr. First team all name.
Max.
Go ahead, Max.
Max, Gonzaga Bulldogs versus Baylor Bears. Who you got?
Well, firstly, I have the under, but I am going to have to say Gonzaga because they've been a wagon this year. That is a deep and talented team, and I do probably be a pretty good game. Baylor is definitely a much different flavor come to UCLA and play style. But I think Gonzaga is good enough and worthy to carry that undefeated crown. And I think when we look back at this Gonzaga team, I think that we're gonna be like, oh my God, like these guys were just like loaded.
Cool.
What's the over under? Before we move on, but what's the
159?
Jeez, really?
Oh, but the pace is so high with these two teams. There's gonna be a lot of possessions in this game. I don't know, man. There's two very well-scoring teams.
I would take that over. I got burnt in the that
it could
Virginia
go in the
championship.
80s. It could go in the 80s.
I got burnt by taking the under in the Virginia championship a couple years ago because Virginia's in a basketball game. How do you not take the under?
That's a great point.
So I learned my lesson on that one. That's interesting. You know what? I'm gonna go Zags and the over. As soon as we get off here, I'm placing my bet. I'm riding. Oh boy, this is gonna be a hot button topic, Josh. I know you. I know your stance on this, so I'm not gonna come to you first. I'm not gonna give you the satisfaction. Max, I'm gonna come right back to you, man. The MLB. So the MLB introduced some new rules last year. One of them being the universal DH. They took that away, but one rule that they kept in from last year heading into this year was adding a pinch runner at second base when extra innings start. I know how I feel about it. but I want to know how you feel about it. Max, what do you feel about them starting off extras with a guy on second?
I gotta say, I do like the idea and the attempt to speed up the game because, it is fun. It is cool to see that random 17 inning, 5 hour and 17-minute game where 34 pitchers are used and one position player had to play while pitcher was in the outfield. Those games are fun, right? But like on a practical level, they kind of suck because they last almost 5.5 hours. And what's even crazier than that is that regular 9-inning playoff baseball games last 5 hours sometimes. Mm-hmm. And that's just kind of nuts as is. And I know that's kind of a little bit off topic. But regardless, the attempt to speed up the game in any capacity, I think, is a step that needs to be made. I think personally, maybe what I would like to see is that in the top of the 10th is maybe no runners. And then maybe in the 11th and 12th, you get a man at first, and then every inning after that, a man starts.
It's into scoring position.
Well, now we're talking.
Exactly. And because I think that, and I forget where I heard this or read this, but from the player perspective, it's like, damn, I just busted my ass in this hot-ass July sun for 2 hours and 45 minutes to go through 9 innings, tied 3-3. Why should the other team get to start with a guy halfway home just because we finished 9 innings? And look, like I get it from both. I get it from both angles. I think that it's the right thing to do to try to keep the games moving and get through the season as quick as possible in some regard. But I don't know. I think a guy starting at second and 10th, after all the drama and all that stuff, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of it kind of deflates the balloon pretty slowly, and it kind of makes that loud fart sound on the way out.
I like
it. Before we get to Josh, can I give my take?
Go ahead, give me 30. I want to go before Josh too, because I know what he's going to say down there.
I've actually really switched up my stance, and I actually really like it because
I get too.
I actually really like it because if you take a look at the numbers, I mean, what was it? The game yesterday between, I think, the Blue Jays and the Yankees, there was a combined like 6 minutes where the ball was actually in play in a half hour of baseball. Like, it's just, it needs to happen more. So putting a guy on second, actually, it's one, I don't get the argument from all these old heads where, no, the shift needs to be preserved. The shift is a new thing invented by Joe Madden. It's not. It's the rules are changing. You know what I mean? So the shift sucks. So why, if you can introduce a shift and now talk about banning the shift, why can you not introduce something that forces your so-called purity back into the game? If you put a man on second, now a manager has either the option to bunt the guy over, depending on what part of the lineup you're in, or introduce sac flies. Nobody's hitting for sac flies anymore. Nobody's hitting for small ball. You're introducing small ball back into the game where it's been missing for 5-10 years. Mm-hmm. Like it forces you to have more strategy. It forces you to play honest in the field. It forces you to not shift as much because you have a guy on second. Like, there's nothing bad about it, I don't think, because in the end of the day, the game that the Phillies played with where they went extra innings, it started with a runner on second, it still was a 3.5 hour game. Like, it's not like we're talking about cutting an hour off of a product. We're talking about shortening an already exorbitantly long product. So I've actually switched up my stance on it. So I actually really do like it now. JJ, do you want to piggyback off that?
Literally right off of what you were saying. You took a lot of my points, like it hit it directly on the head. And the last one I think is the most important, where like you're not taking life off of something. You're just not dragging it out as so long as it needs to be. And it was still a thrilling ending. Just because there's a man on second don't mean the walk-off isn't as thrilling. Did Gene Segura not get chased to the outfield? Did people not like jump up on him? Like it's still like a thrilling ending. And baseball is the only sport where when you go to the overtime period, stuff like in the past, stuff wasn't shortened. In every other sport, when you go to the overtime period, the quarter is smaller. You get less timeouts. You get like everything is shortened because you just played regulation. You just played the regular game. So yes, now it is a sudden death type of thing because you have less time. You have less opportunity to pull away. That's why you're in this overtime period. So I know old man Saffron down there is barking at the TV talking about that's not how it used to be back in my day. And that's fine. But at some point, if baseball wanted to try to keep up with the other sports, revolutionize itself, not make the game as boring, that's something that is an easy thing that they needed to do. And I guarantee you, in 30 to 40 years, no one's going to remember that a man wasn't on second in extra innings. It's not something that people are going to tremendously miss. And I don't know if this is an uncommon opinion, but I hate the 18, 19 inning games. And I played baseball since I was 3 years old. So it's not like I'm just like new to the sport or don't appreciate the sport. Like as a player, if we were in a seventh inning game, if we were in the 12th inning, I'm like, bro, I want to go. I'm hot. I'm tired. I want to go home. I don't want our right fielder who just got brought up from JV the first game to be a pitcher because we can't use the other ones. Like, I don't like it. I don't like seeing our second baseman in that pitcher because we don't have any other options. Come on, man. Like, I think it's good for the sport. I don't think anyone's going to miss the other rules. It doesn't make it any less scintillating, any less exciting. Like Banner said, like there's no problem with introducing something in your sport that helps it.
I love it. And as we watch Matt Moore work himself out of a second inning bases loaded jam, which he just did, Josh Safran, tell us why you hate this extra inning rule.
Oh my gosh! Well, I learned that JJ doesn't love the game because he just can't wait to get out of his
old man. Safran, God,
I just don't like. Don't you miss playing baseball now? I'd pay like $40 to be in the 12th inning of my JV baseball game or something like that. Like that sounds amazing. First of all. Second of all,
Josh, you probably had something to do
pitcher.
after that game that you now can't go to because you played in the 15th inning.
Well, you obviously were not a pitcher.
I don't know what you were doing. That was so cool. I was just going to go home and watch more baseball, all right? So
Fair point.
Listen, I don't like, first of all, some of my favorite memories in watching baseball and playing baseball are these long extra inning games. Like, well, it was like the 2017 season where Bryce Harper wasn't there. I can't tell you anything that happened, but what I do remember is Trevor Plouffe clubbing a 17th inning opposite field home run against like Kike Hernandez or something like that. We still talk about Wilson Valdez, like these are special things, these late inning games. Now that's one point. The other point is, what's this talk about shortening the game? Like, once we get into extra innings, I'm in for the long haul. Go on forever. Like, once you hit the 10th inning, there's no desire from me for it to end unless my team's winning. Like, I get it. 9 innings, 3 hours and 9 innings is a long time. But once you hit the 10th, woof, let it fly.
Blow the doors off? He talking about blow the doors off after that.
Blow the doors off, baby.
Josh, every other sport, literally every other sport on the planet, when you're done regulation, overtime period is shorter than the normal period would be.
Baseball is a 9-inning game. Once you get to extra innings, it just becomes a 1-inning game. It is shorter. If you can win your inning, you're done. And I don't want to hear this whole strategy thing, because why don't you just get a double to start the inning? Then you have some strategy. You get a single. There's still strategy.
Why don't you just get a double?
Listen,
why don't you just get a double in the bottom of the ninth to win it then? Like,
why not? Yeah, you should. But look, I was adverse to the DH, right? I would so much rather have the DH. Like the DH, I have no problem with compared to this Mickey Mouse MLB Power Pros special extra rule.
My goodness.
It just drives me crazy that you have to artificially inject this fake excitement to a situation that's already exciting. And if you don't like it, well, then just don't watch it.
You and my poppy need to sit down, yell about the players wearing the sleeves and the diamonds on the field, yell about players not wearing stirrups anymore. Like, you and my poppy would get along perfectly in your 1960s baseball world.
Back when players respected the game.
Yeah.
That's when they used to bunt and it was fun.
Right.
My word.
Old man Safran. God love him.
We found out JJ doesn't like the game, apparently. Doesn't love the game.
I know love.
I'm
just telling Josh, let the kids play.
That was great.
Love the game. Oh my goodness. Wow, Josh. I like the energy. Even though I disagree with your take. I love the energy. All right. Coming into the last question here on Rapid Fire. And this is the one I'm taking this to the bank. All right. If there's a consensus, I'm going to the futures bet right now. World Series winner 2021. All right. Who's the favorite? and who am I betting on tonight? All right, we're going around the horn. JJ, who am I putting money on to win the 2021 World Series?
I don't like betting on repeats.
Me
I think
neither.
they're very hard in any sport, and I think just parity happens in every sport. But the Dodgers got better. The Dodgers won the World Series, then upgraded in places. Still have one of the best players in baseball in Mookie Betts. Now added Trevor Bauer, who looked damn good in his first start in a Dodgers uniform. Damn good. Cody Bellinger starting off the season looking damn good. Justin Turner starting it off where he left it off, hitting damn good. I'm like, who looks better than the Dodgers right now? Who looks better than the Dodgers right now?
Astros look pretty good, but I don't trust it.
I don't trust that.
Yeah,
I don't trust. And I'm not gonna bet. I mean, the Astros. I need a new regime of the Astros before I'd like put any support behind them. Like the old's got to be out, the new's got to be in. But if I had to put my money on something, I'm not a betting man, but if I had to put my money on a team, I'm putting it on the Los Angeles Dodgers because they're the best. They ended the season last year the best team in baseball, and it didn't look like anyone caught up to them to start the season.
All right, Josh, give me a lock here.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and refute the Dodgers, but I'm also not going to pick them. I never will ever pick the odds-on favorite. It's just not fun, and it's just not fun. Yeah, it's not fun.
The odds-on? Did they come in the odds-on favorite?
Big time.
Yeah,
big time. They're like plus 400, which is not worth betting. For like a future. Right. I'm going to go with the team that I said last year, and last year I don't want to take any credibility from myself this year, but last year It was COVID time, gentlemen, so I had nothing to do. I really read up on baseball last year, and I said, hey, plus 4,000 odds or whatever it was. Padres to win the World Series last year. Nobody was talking about it.
Second choice, yeah.
Boom. Padres start going off, and they're the only team, pitching-wise, that can compete with the Dodgers. And while JJ, everything you said was right. Dodgers are the best team. They're like they're the Lakers of the MLB in more ways than one. I'm going to ride with the Padres because I think they got marginally better, and that's they have the best starting pitching rotation in the MLB. Better than the Dodgers, I'll say. And I think the offense is comparable. And then you add the youth combined with the oldness of Manny, not oldness, but the veteran presence of Manny Machado. The time is now for the San Diego Padres. That being said, I think I'm going to pick the San Diego Padres every year until they do get one. So that's my pick right now. And I also, just a little back pocket, Los Angeles Angels.
Playing well.
He said seriously, the Angels?
Yeah,
as a back. Last night.
I asked you for a lock, and you give me the Angels.
Angels.
No, I said back pocket. Back pocket.
For your Padres take, Josh. Yeah. I think Eric Hosmer has the opportunity to be the X factor on this World Series team, like he was on the 2016 World Series.
I like
team.
that.
Eric Hosmer plays well on a title contender. That team goes far.
That's a great solid team. They're a good team, man. Will Myers has kind of regained that rookie of the year form from Tampa Bay. They get Tommy Pham back for. I'm sorry.
They came up on one with Cronenworth and who's the oh my god the center fielder though he was a
Tommy
rookie
Pham.
last.
They get Tommy Pham back for a full season.
No, the rookie. Grisham. Trent Grisham. There it is.
Grisham. Yeah, he's hurt right now. He'll be back soon though. I mean, it's a good young team, and they legitimately go 9 pitchers deep for their starters. Like Joe Musgrove looked out of this world. Darvish sputtered a little bit, but they got Blake Snell they could throw at you. Like
don't forget about Clevenger either.
Clevenger scares me. He's coming off of injury. I'm not going to take anything away from the dude, but the Padres are a good pull. That Eric Hosmer pull was a good pull too. Max, who am I putting money on?
You're putting money on the Dodgers because it's not always smart to bet on repeats, but it has to happen at some. We haven't had a repeat in quite some time in baseball, so I'm going to roll with the Dodgers. I will say that if you're looking at the AL, maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid here, but the White Sox are on the radar for me as well. I think that's probably my World Series matchup.
They absolutely are on the radar. Absolutely, I'm down with that.
They got a great young team.
I think I'm calling that as my World Series matchup right now. Dodgers over White Sox.
Boy, if I thought about doing, you know what, Josh? I'll take back my slander about the A's.
Thank you.
Because I'm going to pull a dark horse out and say the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh, woo! Really?
That team is fun.
They're exciting. They're so exciting.
Yeah, they are so excited. I mean, if Steven Matz can regain some of his form, Hyunjin Ryu is a great number 2 or number 3 to toss out there in the playoffs. The team is so much fun to watch. The offense can be prolific if they're all hitting at the same time. And I don't know if you guys have watched any of the Blue Jays games yet this year, but their bullpen, they have about 4 or 5 guys that they can trot out there and legitimately blow you away. Jordan Romano, Rafael Dolis, Jordan Merriweather, like they can legitimately put a ball past you and you don't know what happened. Like it's a fun young team. So they could be my dark horse. Obviously, I think I'm going to go put some money on the Dodgers because the rich get richer. And that just seems to be the narrative of this world. But whatever. Now we're moving into tap outs. And boys, who wants to tap us out first?
I'll go first. Mine's quick. I just want to shout out Hubert Davis, the new coach of North Carolina men's basketball team. A huge accomplishment and a great man. He sat on that staff as an assistant coach for years now. Went to North Carolina from, I believe, 92 to 2000, or from 92 to 96. Won a national championship. 12-year NBA vet. And the man is just when you hear people talk about him in the UNC faithful, they have nothing but great things to say about him, especially the players that he's helped go through that program. And in a year that has been so much about fighting racial inequality and social injustices, for a black man to be the first ever, or for a man to be the first ever black head coach of a historic program like UNC in a historically racist and segregated state like North Carolina, I think is a huge accomplishment and a huge feat. And the race part of it shouldn't be overlooked. It's a great accomplishment for him as the basketball coach, but as a black man in the black community, like this is a big one. This is the University of North Carolina. This is Dean Smith, Roy Williams, Hubert Davis. Like that's the company he's in right now. So congratulations to him.
Love that.
Yes.
Love
Quite
that.
the image change from Dean Smith and Roy Williams, for sure.
Yes, sir.
There was the rumor mill was swirling.
You had me scared about Jay Wright going over there.
The rumor mill was swirling
maybe
with
that's
Jay
why I'm
Wright.
so happy. I didn't even think about it. Maybe that's why I'm so happy. And I'm like, yes, give all the props to Hubert Davis because I don't want no more noise about Jay Wright going there. No more noise.
The collective whole of the main line surrounding Philadelphia let out an audible when those rumors when Hubert got hired because they knew Jay Wright would be sticking around for a while. But yeah, no, I love that. Who's Max, Josh? You guys got anything?
I mean, I got something minor. I got something very minor, but it's appropriately timed with tonight's game. And first of all, Jacob deGrom looks like an idiot spelling his name D-E undercase G-R-O-M uppercase. Like, who do you think you are? A Cy Young winner or something? Come on, spell your name like everyone else. But what I'm saying here,
what?
It's baseball season, JJ. I am fired up.
And
on that note, I am appointing myself the chairman of the Matt Moore posse. And my goal is if Matt Moore keeps this up here, remember the Wolfpack back out in right field, the good old days of Jim Thome, Citizens Bank Park?
Oh, yeah.
One day this season, I hope, the posse, when Matt Moore's having a Cy Young season, the posse will be up there and we'll be cheering on Matt Moore. I'm saying get in on the ground floor before all the casuals do and hop on the Matt Moore posse.
What are we calling
it for you? The Moore Core. There you go.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, the Moore Core. I love it.
All right. What are we dressing up as?
Well, we'll figure it out in a bit.
But,
all right, because I know the Wolfpack got wild. The Wolfpack got wild out there. So we'll come up with some costumes. Maximilian, do you have one?
It's most definitely not serious in any way, shape, or form. Just wanted to give a quick and prayers to Paul Phirst, who has been let go by ESPN following his IG Live escapades over the weekend.
Uncle P, the truth.
Hate to see it. I actually just saw that they let him go while we were in the show.
And I was thinking about
finding a way to talk about it at the end because it was obviously hilarious, right? But I think that it does point out like what did he really do wrong besides go live to I guess he was ripping blunts on IG Live, so maybe I won't go that far down the path.
And some other stuff, Max. It was what's going on behind him
going
too.
on.
Okay, my point was that this was clearly a mistake, and that
Yeah.
I think my point was that ultimately is that this was clearly a mistake. Like he obviously was never like, hey, let me go IG Live to all my followers instead of the close friends. Just the group chat that this was supposed to go to.
Right.
But that was more so my point is that this was obviously just like a huge accident, and it sucks because he works for Disney ultimately, and Disney's not going to stand for that.
Yeah,
but I think it's just interesting to think about how media continues to develop. There's you're always going to have the suits like Disney who will never stand for that, but if any of us did that, I mean, maybe not to that extent, but if Josh accidentally goes IG Live when he's at a frat party at Temple, are we going to fire him because he's pounding down Bud Light on IG Live? Probably not. So
I'm probably gonna make
I just
fun of
think that it's a good reminder of people like us. It's nice not having that overbearing cloud over your head that one non-family friendly accident can get you canned.
And Max,
listening to the
point,
FCC is for nerds.
Max, to your point, media is so broad now that there's a bunch of outlets who are the opposite of ESPN are looking at Paul Pierce and stuff like that. We need that guy. Someone contact Paul Pierce because I want him on our network now.
Paul Pierce is going to have a new gig by the end of the week, probably.
Yeah, Paul Pierce his inbox full right now.
He'll have his own podcast or show somewhere.
Sponsored by Barstool Sports. It'll be just the truth. Like I mean,
especially coming from Boston, that's actually a pretty good connection.
Portnoy's probably in his inbox right now talking about how to make it happen.
Yeah. Let's see. I guess my tap out would be I was supposed to get a COVID vaccine this past week at the Temple League Course Center. I won't go through the whole long story.
Oh, no.
But it's not like I was in a huge line. And I got turned away, boys. I got turned away. And I'm not going to say it is specifically the woman who was working the door's fault. I get it. She was just doing her job. But at the same time, I had an email displaying that it was a press day to come there and get taken care of. I wasn't taking anybody's spot. I wasn't cutting in line. I wasn't making a ruckus or anything. And just me personally, how I think, if I was running the door, I would be, hey, you know what? I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not letting him slide. I'm not putting him ahead of anybody else. He actually wants the vaccine. And at the end of the day, who knows what actually happened to that dose? Did it make it to somebody else? Did it get thrown out? So if I can, you know what? I'm going to let him in. Just one more person that has the vaccine for this virus. Go ahead. Get your vaccine. You're one of the good guys. That's just me. That's how I would think. But
good guy banners.
You are reverend, sir.
To me, what I want to say is PSA for everybody out there. Make sure if you're going, you have a form of identification that shows the correct zip code that you live in to the designated center. Or a piece of you can either work with it's not just a piece of mail. It has to be either a PGW bill or a PICO bill if you do not have a state license or a passport with that zip code on it. So if you're going and your zip code is wrong on your state ID or your passport, make sure you bring a PGW or a PICO bill to prove your zip code, or else you will be in the same boat as me. And unfortunately, those two things are the only two things I let my girlfriend pay for. So they were in her name, and such is life. But that's going to wrap us up here on Trust the Process Live. As always, we are brought to you by Mighty Philly. But wait, there's more. If you missed us in our entirety,
there it is.
You might be sitting to yourself asking, I wonder if Matt Moore is going to work himself out of this jam. You know what? I bet there's some people who can tell me about that. Let me go catch up on Trust the Process Live, and I'm here to tell you where you can find us. You can find us on all social or all podcast platforms, as well as all social media platforms. TTPL Philly or Trust the Process Live. Hit us there. And you can catch up if you didn't if you didn't get a chance to check us live. Ooh, I'm stumbling over my words. I need a new coffee. I need another coffee. I do. But if you find a platform that we're not out there in podcast form, let me know. I'll jump on Anchor. We'll get us up there. Okay.
Yes,
We got
Appreciate you. Go watch the Phillies game. It's been nice. We'll catch you next week, Philly. All right. We're brought to you by Minded Philly, where something's always new and everything's always
Philly.
Go Phils.
Go Phils, baby.